Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sir Tacos Tuesday with me, Vince Montero, on this finally sunny morning here in Laguna Beach, California. I usually have a green screen up behind me, but today I decided just to go with my room because the green screen actually makes my coloring look really weird. Been fighting it for too long, so now you guys just get to see my background, and unfortunately, it is a clean room. So, if you are just joining us, today's session is going to be all about Prime Days. It's coming up very quickly on July 11th and 12th. And what I wanted to cover today is just some maybe last minute tips that you can do and strategies that you can do to kind of take advantage. We're only 2 weeks away. So hopefully you guys are watching live. If you're watching this after the fact on our YouTube channel, you might be able to take advantage of some of these tips and tactics. So for those of you who may not know, my name is Vince Montero. I am the brand evangelist for Trivium Group. And I used to do these monthly training sessions with a company called Helium 10, if you guys are familiar with them. And that was just called Tacos Tuesday, again, a monthly training series. So I've continued that on since I began with Trivium Group earlier this year. One thing I do like to ask is just to see, where people are checking in from. Danon says, looks good to me. Thank you. I appreciate that. It does. I don't know why the green screen messes with coloring, but it seems to. But anyways, yeah, check in when you guys are logging in. I know I signed in a little bit, a few minutes late. Hopefully, we didn't lose a lot of people. But let me know where you're checking in from. We are currently live on Facebook, on YouTube, and I believe on our Trivium LinkedIn channel. So I always like to see, where people are tuning in from. I can see Dana is on LinkedIn, Tampa, Florida. We've got two people from Florida, Raleigh as well on YouTube. So I'm looking down because I've got two monitors up here, and I've got content that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today on my main screen. So if you see me looking down to look at questions, San Diego in the house. Finally, someone on my coast. So if you guys see me looking down, I'm just looking at the comments. And feel free. We're going to be going through at least 30, maybe 40 minutes of content in slide format. And then I'm leaving room in the last, 15 to 20 minutes for your questions. So if you do have questions, though, as I'm presenting the content, if I happen to look down and see in the comment section there is a question, I will try to answer the questions kind of live so you can, again, no, this is a live session. If you hear background, if you hear a fire truck driving by, you guys will know this is not something that's been recorded and then cleaned up. So that being said, it is now 10:06. So I'm going to go ahead and pop into the content. Now, again, so the first thing that I want to kind of cover is something a little bit different. You guys know the importance of optimizing bids. So we're going to cover that and, how you can do that within Amazon fairly easily. But then I also want to talk a little bit about leveraging sponsored and organic rank. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right. So the importance of optimizing your bids. Of course, one of the main reasons that we are here today is to talk about optimizing PPC bids. Now, you guys should kind of know that that's kind of key and important, and I'll touch base on it, later in the training on some of the things that you can do and adjustments you can make specifically for Prime Day. But I wanted to just point out maybe some metrics that you guys may not be thinking about beyond, ACOS and ROAS, which you should have goals for your PPC. However, your tacos should be kind of more important. And that is, I should mention, one reason we call this Sir Tacos Tuesday is because I like to talk about total ACOS. So it's not just the tacos, the food. I didn't mention that at the beginning. I usually do, but I like to talk about total ACOS a lot, which is your organic and your PPC spend divided by your PPC sales, not just your PPC sales. All right, so ACOS ROAS goal, your spend is super important. Click-through rate is something that really should be looked at quite a bit. If you're not getting high click-through rates, there might be something wrong there with your listing, not necessarily your PPC. Impressions and impressions shared. These are new metrics that are available to you for a lot of different campaign types that really you can look at to kind of gauge, what changes you're making or maybe increasing or decreasing your impressions. And then historical performance. That simply means keeping in mind what's the age of the campaign, how long has it been running, how much data does Amazon actually have on your particular campaigns that might be affecting its performance. All right, I see some people doing some comments. Would you make video ads or product display for a new product with no reviews? That is a great question. I would make video ads only right now because of Prime Days. And actually, I'm going to get into that really quickly here in the next couple of slides. So we'll put a pin on that. So really quickly, optimizing targets is super easy. Amazon has made it super simple to optimize targets now. Now, if you guys know my background, you know I used to work for Helium 10. I built out a PPC tool called Adtomic, and that was something that I built this into it. And then Amazon, about a year and a half ago, maybe came out with this targeting page. So it's really important to leverage some of these pages, like this one. Targeting was in beta, now it's no longer in beta, but it's just a really easy way for you to actually look at your whole entire account. If you've got a lot of campaigns and a lot of keywords, this is going to be super helpful to you, because that's can be a lot to manage. So if you know, log in, review your targeting page, you can do a high level overview of all the keywords. You can do it by ASINs, by categories, and even by auto campaign targets. So what you'll want to do is then sort and optimize by the high ACoS keywords or the high spend keywords and no sales. So in that, you're cleaning. You definitely want to make sure before Prime Day, because you're going to see a lot more traffic that whole week, basically the week of the 11th. You're going to see a lot more traffic. So really want to make sure at the beginning of that week, at a minimum, you're cleaning up all of your PPC campaigns as much as possible, cutting that high ACoS and cutting the high spend window sales. You might still be in testing phases for some of these keywords, but I would say maybe pause them and maybe turn them back on after Prime Day if you haven't collected enough data yet. So I like to use this specifically for exact match keywords and ASINs, because you can get a quick review of all the targets, and you don't have to worry about the search terms. So if you guys know exact match and ASINs, if you're targeting those in your PPC campaigns, that's pretty much exactly what the search term is going to be. So you can use this page with confidence that you can make optimizations and you're not really maybe shooting yourself in the foot. If you've got broad match keywords, though, or phrase match keywords in your campaigns, you do really want to be looking at the search terms, because it might not be the exact keyword that's causing the high ACoS or spend with no sales. It might be specific search terms that you're then going to want to clean out. And that is a basic of PPC. So if you guys don't know how to go through your search term reports and start making negatives of the things that are not working, please go back to the basic trainings that we have here at Trivium Group. I have some videos on that, but that is pretty basic. This is super kind of a little bit more high level to really quickly clean up exact match keywords, ASINs, and even categories. So additional metrics that I want you to just kind of start thinking about, especially during high traffic days, is your rankings. So your organic rank, your sponsored rank, and your search volume. So these are really important, but they're really not referenced as much as those metrics that I covered, in the beginning slide and also in just the targeting slide that I was sharing with you. So why are these things important, right? Well, you want to kind of review your ranking before optimization, especially on maybe some of your high spending keywords, because you might want to adjust your spend based on those results. So in this example, we've got this product. The product is called I Walk Free, and it's a crutch. It shows in the third position for the sponsored and second for organic. You can see it's got the bestseller tab on, or badge on both of them. So third for sponsored and the second for organic. So if you're a seller that's really trying to maybe manage your budget, especially during Prime Days, you might want to prioritize one over the other. So if you've got a high organic position, then maybe you can reduce the spend on that particular keyword, maybe during that week, again, for Prime Day, so that you're not spending all that money because you're already going to be seen pretty high organically. Now, conversely, I have some clients that I work with that they actually like being seen in both of these rows. It's pretty powerful if you're a shopper to be seen in two different rows, right on top of another. So that might be something that you want to do strategically to increase your sales during Prime Days. So ultimately, really, it's all about strategy. So appearing in the two placements on the first page could be worth it for the visibility, especially for brand new products. So we do teach this ranking, review in the Helium 10 PPC Academy that I did with Mina Elias just last fall. And in that, he goes over how you can really monitor this by using spreadsheets and leveraging Keyword Tracker, which is a tool within Helium 10. So I kind of just wanted to circle back on that a little bit because it can be a little bit daunting to figure out regularly how to track your organic and your sponsored rank because these things change all the time. These are constantly going up and down. So how do you track that? Well, you can do it manually just by looking and then making spreadsheets to track this, or you can use Keyword Tracker in Helium 10. So Keyword Tracker is a tool that you can then use to just track. Here's some keywords that are super important to me. I want to track where I am sponsored and organic. So I just wanted to note here again, this is not a plug for Helium 10 or Adtomic. It just happens to be a tool that I helped build last year. So I wanted to let people know, hey, it is actually kind of super easy, at least within Adtomic, to track your rankings because they at the time but Keyword Tracker is in Adtomic. So basically, you got a PPC tool and you can leverage Keyword Tracker, again, a separate Helium 10 tool within your PPC tool to give you that visibility before making those decisions on increasing or decreasing the rankings. So I just want to cover this really quickly. This helps in a couple of different ways. Guide your keyword bidding strategy with organic and sponsor ranking metrics, exactly how I just explained. Track the PPC keyword performance and its influence on organic ranking. So you can also use PPC to maybe influence your organic ranking. It's another way to leverage PPC. These are called ranking campaigns. I recently did a YouTube video on what ranking campaigns are. So if you want to use your PPC to increase your organic rankings, that's something that you can do as well. And again, track it here. You want to establish a competitiveness of keyword using search volume. So I say this because sometimes people will make decisions on keyword bidding and not consider the search volume. If you've got a really high search volume keyword and maybe it's not working for you just yet, if you've got a little bit of wiggle room to continue to spend on that high search volume keyword, I would say consider it because high search volume typically means higher impressions, which typically means you're going to get a lot more visibility, especially during a time like Prime Day for that particular keyword. So it might be worth looking at the search volume as well of a keyword, again, in your keyword bidding making decision. So again, these are just additional metrics that I like to point out that might be important for you guys to think about, especially during an important time like Prime Day. All right, the next thing that we're going to cover, like I just mentioned before, you've sponsor brand video and sponsored display to lift the overall sales. So there's multiple different video ads now. I just want to make sure you guys are clear on this. The search results video ad. You're shopping on Amazon, you see a video in the middle of the page. There's also a video on the bottom of the page now for a lot of categories. So if you're running video ads, you have the opportunity to be on two different placements, potentially even both placements. I've seen some videos of the same product both in the middle and the bottom of the page. So this is super powerful. And again, one reason why you want to be doing video ads. But there's also product detail page videos. This is not as visible because it's actually on the product detail page itself. So after a shopper clicks on a detail page and they go into the page, there is actually more videos, typically around the bottom or the lower half. But again, very powerful placements. I've got some clients that I work with where these videos on the product detail pages actually convert better than the ones on the search results page. Now, that could simply be because a shopper has selected a product and they're interested in it. And if you've got your video on that detail page, competitor, if your video is more compelling, they might click through and then purchase your product instead. Again, which is the whole point of doing ads on competitor detail pages. But there is also a brand new top of search video ad. And again, I like to state this because a lot of people still don't know this is available. It launched earlier this year. One of the very first videos that I think the very first video that I did for Trivium Group in the YouTube channel is about this video campaign type. So as you guys can understand, if you're shopping on Amazon, especially on your mobile phone, and you type in a search term, you've got the video right below. I know this is a static image, but you guys can see the search term there, crutches for adults tall, and then you can see basically a screenshot of the video result. You can see the little mute button on there. So that is a video, and it auto plays. Without the music, of course, just like all videos, but super powerful placement. And again, especially on your mobile phone, it takes up the whole screen if one of these video ad units come up. So I don't want to dive too deep into this, but this is a very specific type of video ad. If you got video ads running right now, you're not necessarily going to get this position. You have to create a brand new campaign type in order to be seen in this position, because there's a few different requirements for this video ad. One being it has to go to a store. So if you don't have a store, you basically can't run this video ad right now. You can run the other video ads that I showed you, but not this particular one. And again, take a look at for that video ad tutorial that I did, on the Trivium YouTube channel, if you kind of want a deeper dive into that. Video ad tips, I just like to give these out so that people understand, some of the best practices for video ads, especially if you haven't run them yet, if you're brand new and just starting them. What's the most important thing? Well, know your audience. That's the thing that is going to be compelling for someone to click your video ad, either on the search result page or away from another competitor on their detail page. It should be educational, and it should demonstrate at least 3 features. So if you've got a product out there that doesn't have at least 3 features that you can showcase in a video, you might have a problem with that product. You definitely want to show your product first. I see way too many videos where the product is like 3 to 5 seconds into a video. You shouldn't do that. The video has to be very prominent and in the first few seconds of a video, so that the shopper understands what this product is for, this ad is for, and then see themselves using it. Keep it brief. I recommend a video length of 15 to 30 seconds. Amazon recommends like 10 to 12 seconds. So depending on your product, if you've got a lot of features to show, you might want to do it a little bit longer. If you can keep it shorter, maybe try that. As you guys probably are aware, people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. So the shorter the video ad it can be, the better. Always optimize the format. Now, there's some restrictions and guidelines you have to follow. So you will be, even to run it, but you want to follow the format so that it's easily understood without sound and images, and make it sure that it's easily seen on a mobile device. So that being said, make sure your images aren't like too far away. Like a lifestyle image is really nice video, but if your product or the person using the product is way in the background, it's going to be harder to see, especially on things like a mobile phone. So you want to do things more up close. So optimize for both desktop, but also keep mobile in mind when you're creating video ads. And then consider the loop. Again, these auto play. So especially if it's a shorter video, it'll go to the end and then re-loop. So you can add an end card to it if you want, and that's basically just your logo, your brand, if you want that to be more prominent. Or you can kind of get creative and then make the loop kind of seamless, so the video just seems like it's continuing on. You guys see this if you're on Instagram at all and you're watching, vids. Some of them take advantage of that loop. So just something to consider when building out these video ads. Equally important, avoiding rejections. When I was at Helium 10, I was told by the Amazon ads team that the rejection rate for the videos was like over 50%. So that means a lot of wasted time when people are actually creating the video ads. So I mentioned before that there is guidelines that you should look at when creating the video ads. So do that first, and you'll probably avoid most of the rejections. But here's some highlights. There's a lot more than this. I just wanted to point these out again so that you understand some of the main reasons why your video can get rejected. Black or empty frames at the start of the videos. So don't waste time to engage the shoppers with black or empty frames. If there's any kind of empty frame included in a video, Amazon will see it. You'll probably get it kicked back. A video that's abruptly cropped. So, edits that are kind of abrupt, make it kind of look or feel incomplete, maybe that are jarring, maybe flashing lights, things like that. Don't include that. You want it appealing. So you don't want it to be something that the shopper might have to take a second glance at because it's cropped weirdly, and Amazon will most likely kick that back as well. And no Amazon branding. This is a common thing that I see sometimes. People try to include Amazon branding. Not allowed. Reviews. Customer reviews, including star ratings, they're not permitted. If you want to do videos with reviews in it, like user generated content, which is very powerful, it can do that, but they only go on your product detail page under videos that you can add, which is important, but you can't use that type of content for advertising. So they're very specific about that. No star ratings or anything like that. And then mind the mute button. So I mentioned in the previous slide, you can tell a video screenshot from another because there's a mute button in the image. That's for the audio. So make sure if you're doing text or copy, which is good. If you want to put copy to further explain your video, so that people don't have to turn on audio, you should have words if you can describing the product that's being displayed in the background. Just make sure that wording does not go underneath the mute button. If it does, it's harder to people to see the mute button, to turn the sound on or off, and Amazon will go ahead and reject you. I've actually had this one happen to me, and 10 different times I tried to do a video and I got rejected. And before I realized, oh, it's because I have text below the mute button. Amazon's not very good at letting you know why things get rejected, whether it be video ads or other campaign types. So always best just to know, what's the best practices before launching. Better together strategy. All this simply means, especially right now, leading up to Prime Days, you really want to diversify your PPC strategy. This is super important because more campaigns, different campaign types means more visibility. So sponsor brand video ads, which I've just went through, it pairs well, in my opinion, to sponsored display ads because really both are branding type campaigns. So when you think about sponsored display, the product targeting campaigns in particular, they've got really, really strong placements under the featured offer, under the bullets, typically are where those are seen, and sometimes on the top of the page as well, on a product detail page. So this is really important for building brand awareness, for customers, especially if they maybe are not that familiar with your product. If you've got the budget to go ahead and leverage that, I would go ahead and do so. So to answer the question before, would I launch a video ad for a product that has no reviews yet? Yeah, because especially if you want to take advantage of Prime Days right now, make it simple. It doesn't have to be super high quality. It can just be something like somebody just using your product. I've seen super fancy videos. I've seen super simple videos, and actually, more often than not, the simple videos actually perform better. The great thing about launching video ads, when you're brand new, is that to the shopper, you look at the same level as the other product. So yeah, you might not get, as many conversions because you've got, less reviews, but you're going to get that visibility. And the more visibility you get, the more you are going to then get momentum and potentially get those sales, which then lead to reviews. But again, it's all about budget. If you don't have a lot of budget, then maybe I would wait till after Prime Day to launch video ads if you don't have a lot of reviews just yet. With that, I want to make sure I'm answering other questions right there. Abazar says, hi, Mina. You're a fan here. I'm not Mina, but I work with Mina, so thank you for that. John says, great tips. Punt for Prime Day, although I may need to hide my wallet from yeah. Prime Day can be expensive, John. So that's kind of why we're going through some of these tips. You can implement some if you want, or maybe you can wait until afterwards for other things. Hello, Mr. Tacos. Thanks, Solomon. Love from Pakistan. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Again, I'm reading the comments down here. So if you've got questions, go ahead and pop them in there. And if I see, I'll go ahead and answer. All right. So next up, sponsored display product targeting. We kind of just went over this. These are super important because if you look at the screenshot, very powerful placements, right? Right below the bullets and right below the buy box or the featured offer, which is Amazon is now trying to call the buy box. It's the featured offer. So if you can really win these two placements, these are also the same placements for DSP, guys. So if you're running DSP, you've got these exact placements. So think about it that way when you're running sponsored display product targeting campaigns, which again, only available to you if you're brand registered for both sponsored display and sponsored brands. But you're really kind of competing with the big guys who are generally larger brands, or they're the ones that are using DSP. So when you use this, you're kind of on the same level with people and larger brands, and it can be really, really powerful. So to clarify, other key benefits of sponsored display ads, Unlike any other sponsored display ad type, number one, it allows sellers to target the product detail page with an ad above the fold. And that's what I just showed you in the screenshot before. Above the fold simply means you didn't have to scroll down that much before you saw the other ads. Number two, displays any kind of deals, savings, or coupon badges in the ad creative. I'm going to circle back on this, but if you didn't get the opportunity to do a Prime Day deal, that's fine. Not everyone's allowed to do Prime Day deals. You have to look in your deals section to see if you were even offered, and those are weeks and weeks and weeks ahead of time. I think mid-April is when you had to submit, but you can still do things like coupons, and coupons are a very powerful way to grab the attention of the shoppers, especially during a busy time like Prime Days. And these types of ads in particular will show that badge in the creative, and that additionally grabs the attention of the shopper that's reviewing. Allows sellers to target niche product categories and refine the results by price and brand and rank and more, which I'm going to go to in a bit. And it allows for customization of their creative, opening up even more different placements. So sponsored display has become another campaign type where you can actually put in lifestyle creative. So instead of the standard product image and maybe your logo, or maybe the logo and like a headline in your ad, you can actually just put a lifestyle creative in there now. And I've been testing that out with my clients, and we're seeing a lot more responses to the ads that have just an image creative versus the standard sponsored display ad that is typically seen. So play around with that, and you'll get additional placements if you do. Sponsored display campaign strategies. So if you guys have not run sponsored display product targeting campaigns at all, I always like to backtrack to people that are kind of maybe newer to this. It's not that hard. It's not that daunting. Use your search term reports, right? You can find your ASINs that have converted from your auto campaigns, or from your keyword campaigns that might have broad match keywords in those. Those are really super helpful for research, and that's why I recommend running auto campaigns and some broad match campaigns, is to leverage that data for maybe other campaign types like this one. Again, you can run product targeting campaigns. Sponsored products have their own product targeting campaigns. Sponsored brands have their own. Sponsored display have their own. So each campaign type has an ASIN targeting version. For sponsored products, if you're not yet brand registered, that product targeting campaign type is the carousel that you see on a product detail page. So when you're on someone's listing and you see that carousel of one, two, three, four, five, 7 pages of or more of ads or of products, that's sponsored products version of the product targeting campaign type. So if you're running the other campaign types, again, you might see ASINs that have worked for sponsored products and sponsored brands, and you can use those in your sponsored display campaign types. Super important, not only in doing, maybe ASIN research, pulling data from your account to target specifically, but use category targeting. Amazon does a pretty good job of opening up different categories based on your product that you can target. But you always want to make sure that you refine that category, because if you don't, it's going to be super broad. So yeah, the pro tip is always use the refine feature to target products in a category, just to make sure you have a competitive advantage over that. So what does that look like? So category targeting, again, available for all product targeting campaign types: sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored display. When you in this example, this is a bike rack that I was going to create a campaign for, and so the category that Amazon came up with is indoor bike storage, which is exactly what it is that I was trying to target. Sometimes it doesn't pull up a good category, so you can use a search feature and you can actually drill down what categories are available to target, and then select the one that is mostly related to your product. Now, you never want to just hit the target button, which is kind of what I was saying before. You always want to click the refine button. It's next to the target button is obviously a little bit easier to see because they want you just to click the target button. They don't want you to refine, but you should. If you click on it, then you can do these refinements here by brand, by price, by star rating, and by prime status. Now, all this simply means is that you can use these levers, these selections, to make sure that your product is more competitive. What does that mean? You make sure that the price point is here so that your product is not on another competitor's product detail page where maybe their product is cheaper. you want to be the less expensive option if you're going to have your ad on a product detail page, because that gives you a competitive advantage. If your product is more expensive than the listing that they're looking at, the product they're looking at, you have less competitive advantage. Same with the star ratings. If you only have a 4-star rating on your product, then that means you don't want to be seen on other product detail pages that have a 5-star rating, because that 5-star rating is higher than yours, which means, again, you don't have a competitive advantage. So it's super important just to understand using category targeting is it can be really helpful for all product targeting campaign types, but leverage these different levers here to make sure you have a competitive advantage. And as you do that, Amazon will drill down the number of product detail pages that are available for you to target, so you can kind of really see, how many product detail pages am I going to be targeting based on these levers that I'm selecting. All right. All right. Prime Day lead up. So that's basically right now. It's 2 weeks away. So what should you guys be focusing on besides all the things that I just talked about? What should you be focusing on for Prime Day lead up? So everyone, kind of knows this, but to reemphasize, really, Prime Day can help you amplify your brands and increase your sales. That is obviously the goal. So you do want to reach shoppers browsing ahead of Prime Day. So that's kind of right now. Now everyone knows, the hardcore Amazon shoppers, they know when Prime Days are. So they're going to be browsing a little bit ahead of time, maybe starting now, definitely starting the week before. So you can use that if you wanted to really kind of get your product more out there in front of their eyes so that maybe they will select yours product during Prime Day. You want to drive sales and on page views on Prime Day with deals and coupons. Again, I don't have a dedicated slide for the deals and coupons, but especially for coupons, definitely do it. You definitely want to take advantage of coupons during Prime Day, especially if you did not get the opportunity to do a Prime Day deal. Again, all the additional eyeballs that are going to be coming to Amazon in the next couple of weeks, if you just put, a percentage based coupon, doesn't have to be a massive percentage. You're going to see a definitely increased conversion rate if you can afford that. And obviously, you want to increase your new to brand shoppers. That simply means more awareness, more new shoppers to your product that have never purchased from you before. So this kind of a lot on this screen. So hopefully you guys, if you want, you can take a screenshot of it. But test and adapt your campaigns to prepare for Prime Day. What does that mean? That simply means of all the different campaign types, sponsor products, sponsor brand, sponsor display, and your store. I haven't really mentioned the store that much just yet, but stores are super important. It's your mini website within Amazon. So even if you have just one product, you should be taking advantage of the stores, because there's different things that you can do, like have campaigns that drive directly to your store. Why is that important? Well, if you can have an ad go directly to your store, then there's not all like other competition. The store is your store and it's just your products. So it lessens the loss that you might get if somebody just goes directly to your product detail page and then sees all the other ads. So you have a little bit more control. So you want to test the copy. You can test custom images, headlines, store layout. So testing copy is super important. You might want to start now to say, hey, this title for this ad works better than this one. Amazon has different features in there to A/B test things on your product listing. They don't have it yet for ads, but it's the same concept. If you test different images, you might have time to say, oh, this image for this sponsored display creative actually works better than this one. That's what I'm going to keep on during Prime Day week. Test different keyword strategies for branded category, product competitors, and by match type to increase bids. So that's for sponsored products and sponsored brands. Again, that just means being super aware and on top of your keyword bidding strategy, but your branded category as well. So I like to mention that one because a branded keyword campaign is also very important to your portfolio of campaigns, especially during Prime Day. You want to make sure you have campaigns that have your branded keyword in it, because competitors are going to be using your branded keyword. I see it all the time with clients. They'll say, "Hey, this company is bidding on my branded keyword. Can you help with that?" So you want to make sure, even if your product is new, that you have branded keyword campaigns. Amazon is leveraging branded keywords a lot more and more, so make sure that you are doing that. So adjust your budgets across all your campaigns: sponsor product, sponsor brand, sponsor display. Amazon recommends 200% or higher, right? Just go ahead and increase 200%, whatever it is now, higher than your average daily campaign spend. That's just a recommendation, but it might not be a bad idea, especially for campaigns that are performing well already, to go ahead and do that and take advantage. All right. So, and I'm going to touch base on how you can do that budgets really quickly. Oh, in the next slide, adjust bids and budgets very quickly. But Amazon has a pretty good. They do a good job of a lot of bulk features now. Didn't used to be the case. A lot of bulk activities you had to do on bulk sheets, but now there's a lot of bulk features that you can do within Amazon itself to make these adjustments pretty quickly across campaigns or different keywords within a campaign. So some pro tips on just updating your budgets and your optimizations for your keywords on Prime Day. Ensure all the keywords are set at least to the suggested bid the day before and the day of Prime Day. I would say maybe even the week of. That might be a lot to go into all your campaigns and make those adjustments. But again, you could do that on the target page. So the target page that I showed you earlier, you can look at all your targets. You can even sort by the ones that are doing well and just say, I'm going to increase these all to the suggested bid because you can have that. The ones that don't have suggested bids, you can increase manually. But either way, you can also do bulk changes on that targeting page and just remember to maybe switch it back afterwards. Same thing with budgets. The budgets you can do, from the main page, not the targeting page, but budgets across all the campaigns in account can be increased. So you see here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 campaigns selected. You click the bulk button. You can select then adjust budget. You can quickly adjust the budget up, maybe 200%, like the slide before, and then just make a note. I'm going to adjust these back down afterwards because maybe you don't want the budgets to remain that high. Um, Increasing budgets, just kind of as a side note too, also is a signal to Amazon. Whenever you increase your campaign budgets, it signals to Amazon, this is a campaign I can spend more. Now, in some instances, that might be bad, but in most cases, Amazon doesn't spend your daily budgets. They always spend less than whatever your daily budget is set. So even if you set your daily budget incrementally higher, Amazon's still not likely going to spend all that. That if you increase it 200%, Amazon's probably not going to spend 200% more in your budget. It is a signal, though, to Amazon to say, hey, this campaign has more power, and I'm going to maybe use this campaign or showcase this campaign more. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about, increasing budgets. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to spend that budget. Um, Third bullet here is placement bidding. Recently did a video again on the adjustments of the dynamic and the placements bidding. It's on our YouTube channel, so check that out if you want to do a deeper dive. But using your placement bidding, it's in each campaign. You can adjust the top of search or the product placement. So the tip here is simply increase the bids by up to 900%. You can increase your bids for top of search placement by up to 900%. And that basically lets Amazon make the adjustments for you. So it's just telling Amazon, hey, these bids for these keywords in this campaign, you can increase the bids up to 900% if you think it's going to more likely convert to a sale. That's a little bit more advanced and something that you might want to, uh, watch, but it is a really easy way to go ahead and increase the bids during that week versus manually going through on the targets page and increasing the bids there separately and then again doing them back. That is something that I would say when you're adjusting placement bid, you also probably after Prime Day, you'd want to go ahead and then lower that back down. All right. Any other questions? Let's see. Abazar says, what do you suggest about targeting the products with lower price than you, but their rating is lower than you? Can it be find out by split testing? Are there any Yeah. So Abazar, exactly that you kind of described exactly what I just said for the category targeting. You wanna target. You can do split testing if you want. You can target the products with lower price. Maybe they have a lower price, but you have more star ratings, right? So as long as you have at least one competitive advantage, or maybe you have more reviews, as long as you have a competitive advantage, yeah, you can A/B test that. But basically, just in general, if you're starting from scratch, I would say, you want to just be in competitive as many different areas as you can, especially during Prime Day. I would say during a busy week like Prime Days, you would want to make sure you're competitive in both price point and in the star rating because again, there's a lot of shoppers who are going to have a lot of different sellers doing a lot of these strategies. So you really do want to make sure you're super competitive during Prime Week. I would say A/B testing something like that. I'd say maybe do that after Prime days when it's not as busy, if that makes sense. All right. So what should you be doing again the week of? All right. What's your Prime Day plan on a page for the week of? Lead up. Again, we kind of talked about this. Expose your brand to shoppers that are just kind of in the research phase. That's you do that by running your campaigns, your sponsor products, both keyword targeting and product targeting. We've talked mostly about product targeting campaigns, what they're important for sponsored display, sponsor brands, keyword targeting, and product targeting. Stores, sponsor display, product targeting, sponsor display. So far, all we've talked about is product targeting, but at the end, I'll talk a little bit about audiences for sponsor display. So Prime Day, basically on the 11th and the 12th. What do you want to do? You basically want to convert your brand to our audiences. And you do this by all the same things: sponsor products, sponsor brands, coupons and deals, leveraging your store, leveraging sponsors like product targeting, and then sponsor display remarketing, right? So make sure you're doing all these things in the lead up and then actually on Prime Day. And then follow up to that is what do you do after Prime Days? Okay. So you can leverage this other version of sponsored display to follow up with people maybe afterwards. So after Prime Day, sponsor display views remarketing can be used to do 7, 14, or up to 90 days of look back to audiences that viewed your product but maybe didn't make a purchase. This is important maybe for products that have a higher price point. Maybe if it's a higher price point product, people need more time to make a decision on a higher price point product. So maybe they didn't buy it the first time, but if you follow up with them afterwards, they might be ready to make that purchase at that time. So again, because of the massive amount of new people that are going to be shopping during Prime Days, this potentially could be a very powerful ad type to leverage after Prime Days. After maybe they see it again and they might buy it at that time. So remarketing simply means you guys have seen this before. You're on Amazon, and or even you're off Amazon. You were looking at a product, but then you see the ad for it in a different placement on a different website or a different area, even within Amazon. So it basically just means kind of following you after the fact because it knows that you have viewed that. Now, purchases remarketing, this is kind of a newer one. This is something that says, hey, these people actually did purchase my product. If you have something that's a consumable that maybe, goes out of, they could use it within 30 days, this is a powerful one. Or maybe you've got uh, lots of different products in a particular category. Maybe they bought one of your, baby blankets. Maybe they might like your baby bottles. So you can use purchases remarketing to find those shoppers that have made a purchase of your product within 7 to a year. So you can go back all the way through a year. Now, again, we're talking about the Prime Day period. So again, I'm just bringing this up because of the super massive amount of people that are going to be shopping during Prime Day. So if you leverage this like a month later and target those people that actually made a purchase of your product and show them another product, maybe show them the same product again if it's a consumable and it's done within 30 days. So that's another way to really touch base with shoppers and say, "Hey, I'm still here. You need a refill," or "Hey, here's another one of my products." So super powerful way to re-engage the shoppers again, both on and off Amazon. They might be ready to purchase your products again after a certain amount of time, especially like again, if you're categories like consumables, household, or personal care. Um, Now, so to kind of dive a little bit deeper into the Amazon audiences is I think this is the last slide. Yes, it is. Okay, perfect. So Amazon audiences, there's 4 different exclusive Amazon audiences that are available, each informed by a variety of first-party shopping and streaming signals. So Amazon audiences, all that simply means is Amazon has done the job of segmenting shoppers into certain categories. Okay. Because Amazon has all of our shopping behavior data. They know, if we're shopping for moving boxes, we're probably moving. If we're shopping for products for a newborn, we probably just had a baby. So they know all the different things that people are shopping for. They even know if you've got something in your shopping cart. If you've got things on your shopping cart, they can kind of get information about what that shopper is interested. So these 4 exclusive Amazon audiences that you can leverage are called lifestyle, interest, life events, and in market. Now, each one of these has its own, targeting parameters. Again, lifestyle is, newborn baby, or I just moved, or actually, life events is just moved. Interest could be maybe you like to cook, so you bought a lot of cooking products. In market simply means stuff that's in your cart, like I said. So if you've got a bunch of gardening stuff in your cart that you haven't purchased yet, Amazon knows that, and then they'll show ads to you based on that behavior. Um, oh, actually, I do have more. So good. This will kind of clear up what I mean by that. So this audience targeting that you can use again after the fact is interesting because it'll target the shopper not based on the product they're looking at, but again based on that interest, whatever that category they're in, it'll target them. So let's say you've got a backpack for students, obviously, or for college age people. That's your product. But the shopper is looking for TVs. So you can see in this example, the product detail page is for a TV, not not a shopper. Sorry, not a college or school thing. But Amazon knows again because it has that data, so it knows this particular shopper is probably a college age student interested in academia, maybe a professional in academia because of their previous purchases. So it will show your backpack as the ad again under that the bullets or under the featured offer. It'll show your backpack because it knows that shopper is in that category of student. They might be interested. So that's how it's a little bit different than targeting in the product targeting examples that I gave you previously. You're targeting like products. So if you're selling uh, this backpack, you're probably targeting other backpacks, right? So that you can get the variations, and people might see your backpack that has maybe more affordable and maybe has more star ratings. Click on that. This is different. You're targeting based on lifestyle, interest. Same thing, different example. The interest here would be cooking. You're selling a crock pot or what is this? A nonstick saucepan. So but again, the shoppers is shopping for a TV. TV is going to be the example in the same thing. The shopper is shopping for a TV. Amazon knows though they have an interest in cooking. If you're a shopper, or sorry, if you're a seller that is selling this product, they're going to show that to you or to that shopper because they know that shopper's interest. Same thing with life events, recent movers, new parents. You're selling a diaper bag, right, or a caddy. Doesn't matter. Shopper is searching for a TV, but they're going to show that shopper your diaper bag because they know that person probably just had a new baby based on the other products that they've purchased. In market, again, all in market simply means is what's in somebody's cart. They haven't purchased yet. It's like when you're shopping for something at the grocery store and you've got all the candy and the magazines and stuff in the aisle. It's kind of like that. They know you're interested in it, so they're going to kind of dangle this. The shopper is purchasing a TV or looking for a TV, but they're going to show your gardening gloves because Amazon knows that this shopper has other gardening style or type products in their particular in their shopping cart that they're ready to purchase. All right. So that is it for the content and the slides. I know that was a lot of information and a lot of different nuggets to potentially look at. But again, the most important part is just making sure that you're just aware that Prime Day is going to have a lot more traffic starting next week, and then again during the week of Prime Day, which is literally in 2 weeks from today. And so hopefully some of these things helped you guys to give you ideas about what you can take advantage of and what you can do to get ready for Prime Day. All right, that being said, let me go ahead and take a look at the comment section. If you guys have any questions, now is your time to get those questions answered. It doesn't have to be about the content I just went over. You can ask me anything about PPC. As long as it's PPC related, I can potentially answer the questions for you guys. So let's see. Who do I have here? Abizar says, uh, purchasers or marketing can be literally a customer retaining machine for guys in supplement category. Yes, exactly, Abizar. So if you've got a supplement that you are selling that you know goes out of stock every 30 days, If hopefully you've got subscribe and save on, right? So you can take advantage of that. But if the shopper hasn't taken advantage of subscribe and save, yeah, you can literally every 30 days or 60 days, depending on how many pills are in the bottle, you can use that remarketing, either purchases or views remarketing, and you can target them again and say, hey, here's our product. You bought another similar product before, this exact product before. Here's something that please purchase this again. Maybe you added a coupon the second time they saw it, right? So it might be a powerful way for them to then buy again. How does Amazon know that if a customer is a college student? I mean, Facebook knows it, Google knows it, but Amazon's something very new. So no, it's the same way. So if you guys think about Google, um, and Google's just a search engine, well, so is Amazon. Amazon's just a big search engine. You go on there, you're shopping and you're putting in keywords and you're getting results, and Amazon's tracking all those results. But they're also tracking what you've purchased. They're also tracking, again, what's in your shopping cart you haven't yet purchased. So based on you know different buying habits and purchases of specific types of products, Amazon, in their algorithms has a way to say, oh, this is probably a new parent, or this is probably someone who's just moved. Now, is it perfect? Maybe not. Maybe you bought a bunch of baby items because you're the godfather or an aunt and uncle, and you bought that for as gifts, right? So, but I'm sure Amazon has taken that into consideration the same way that Google has, the same way that Amazon, or sorry, the same way that Facebook has as well. So the same way they're doing it is the same way basically that Amazon is doing it, because Amazon, at the end of the day, is a big search engine, right? Next week is add to cart week. Yes, next week is add. Um, yeah, next week is add to cart week because again, people are seeing the stuff that they want and they're going to add it to their cart and just wait until Prime Day to see if that is something that they can purchase. So again, you just gave a great example, Abazar, that Amazon sees that. Amazon sees all the stuff that's in people's carts, and based on the stuff that's in their carts, they can kind of extrapolate that and be like, oh, okay, this person just put a bunch of stuff in their cart for I don't know, playing hockey, right? So this person is probably into hockey, and that's a category under the sports category that person Amazon knows. Oh, this person probably plays this particular sport, and then they can start leveraging and doing DSP as well as the remarketing and that you can do using the audiences for sponsored display. And yes, I will say hi to Mina for you, Abazar. All right. Any other questions, guys? All right. If there are no other questions, then that will be it for today. This recording will immediately pretty much go into YouTube on Trivium Group's YouTube channel. So if you want to rewatch it, it'll be here probably, I don't know, within 30 minutes of the end of this broadcast. So you can rewatch that and you can look at the slides if you wanted to and drill down a little bit more. That being said, thank you guys so much for joining today. And I look forward to seeing you all in 1 month at the next Sir Tacos Tuesday, which is always the last Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right. Take care. Bye bye.